mare. Hey, buddy, you look thirsty.
So horror games are one of my favorite genre of video games, and even though they give me the heebie-jeebies, I still love to play them because they always leave me wanting more from the story or just the overall experience and gameplay. I feel horror is best done by indie games, because most are very experimental and try to make something unique that no one else has done before, making something for people to get sucked into, leaving them to ask questions and want even more. Something I have found does just that, by combining two never combined concepts, playing mini golf and being hunted by a psychopath. Using actual golf mechanics to progress through the course, while adding a twist of having to hide from a killer who stalks you all throughout the mini golf park. As a fan of both mini golf and horror, you can see why this could possibly get my attention. Therefore, I have decided to look into what was transpiring inside Cozy Cove Mini Golf Park. In Gone Golfing, you play as somebody who has had a terrible day at work, coming to have fun at Cozy Cove Mini Golf Park. Because what's the worst that could happen after having an already terrible day? Right as you enter the park, you conveniently bring your own club, because you are actually playing as Driver Neffy from Fallout New Vegas.
Get fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked.
The park seems calm, yet very empty. You walk around inspecting the front, and seeing a note promising a special prize if you finish the course with a total of 32 or less. Seems easy enough, so you go ahead and start your game, since nobody is around to say otherwise. Actual golfing mechanic takes a little time to get used to, but it's probably the most refined mechanic in the game, because it works very smoothly. But of course this peacefulness of an empty park quietly slips away, after you get past hole number 3. Where shack door mysteriously opens. To reveal a portal that takes you somewhere dark and industrial. It's a large area that has many shelves and strange objects laying about, such as fish laying out on the ground from their crates that have tipped over. You search the darkness until you find the next hole. As you try to complete the hole, you'll most likely have encountered the walking golf ball himself, Mr. Golfy. You must either hide or run from Mr. Golfy, or else he'll whack you over the head with his 9-iron.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Golfy is relentless, as he walks around frequently and will chase you until you have gotten far enough away. Your best place to hide from him comes from this obviously bright red locker. That always seems to be the first thing you see in the darkness. Careful to not get in one while Mr. Golfy is hot on your trail, because he will game into you. You'll notice that when you finally complete the hole, that no door has opened. You'll have to walk around until you stumble upon an office with many fish and frames on the wall, except one is missing. The note on the desk talks about the boss's 12-eyed trout that has been stolen, and how he will unleash his wrath if it is not back on his desk by noon. Another note nearby tells, nobody is allowed to leave until the boss's 12-eyed trout is returned. So you must venture back into the darkness to retrieve the strange fish, because that is your only way of leaving this industrial hellscape. You'll eventually find it somewhere in the industrial warehouse, fitting the description of actually having 12 eyes. You take the fish back to the office, place it in the frame, which opens another door, which contains another portal for you to enter, which in turn gets you closer to getting back home. Exiting the portal, you'll find yourself on the other side of the park now, with many more holes to complete. The player must be careful to not alert Mr. Golfy, and to be careful to complete each hole under or at par to unlock the special prize at the end. After completing the 8th hole, another door will open. Call it the fish door. Entering it will start you on another bizarre adventure. Tentacles, eyeballs, and a large body of water suddenly all around you. Kinda giving me Club Penguin fishing minigame vibes. And if you're a true 360 Baja Blast gamer like me, you'll have accidentally made a hole in one.
Now watch this drive.
End of the hole, you'll find many doors, but one will open the main exit. This door will take you back to the park, where you'll be in a new unlocked section of the park. But now, you'll have to worry about 2 psychopaths stalking you. Mr. Golfy and the 8-eyed trout, aka Trap Fishing Gaming. Ramping up the game's difficulty, as now you must avoid 2 crazy entities as they hunt you down for your Baja Blast. When you manage to complete all the remaining holes in the park, you'll be able to leave the park, therefore receiving the first ending, where you escape Cozy Cove, but with a feeling that there's more to the story than a psychotic mascot and a mutated trout with legs. Luckily, even after beating the game, you can press continue, where it will take you back to just as you left the fish dimension, therefore letting you get the other endings without having to go through the entire game again. For the second ending, you'll have to go hunt down 2 coins and throw them each into the well at the beginning of the course. Doing so will throw out a lever each time, where you must find and place them in their dedicated spots. Doing so will unlock a door with a Mr. Golfy painting right outside. Going inside, you'll be greeted by Mr. Golfy himself, weeping before a painting. You realize you are now trapped with him, as you two are the same, inferring that you and Mr. Golfy are the same person, but now merging fully with your psychotic half, now becoming BFFs forever. Concluding the second ending. For the third ending, all you must do is complete the whole course with a score of 32 or under. If you do so, right when you unlock the main exit to leave, you'll hear a door open nearby. Walk around to the check-in shack, and you'll see that the door has finally opened to reveal another door to go into. Go in and you'll find the most horrific ending of all.
Get out of my room, Mom! Can't you see I'm streaming? Mom?
It's revealed to just be a game the whole time, and that none of it was real, breaking the fourth wall to reveal you're just living in the game being controlled by a gamer. This says a lot about society.
Stop showing me pictures of gay black dudes kissing! Stop it! It's turning me on!
Bringing us to the most festive add-on, Merry Golfmas, where you must solve a festive golf puzzle while being chased by Mr. Golfy in Santa Drip. and the 8-eyed trout with reindeer drip, along with the bonus of special guest Golfy Jr., who is just a mini version of Mr. Golfy, almost indicating the childhood past of Mr. Golfy himself, along with the fate of his mother and father you can find in the house underground. Keep this burned individual in mind for later down the road. The Merry Golfmas add-on surprisingly adds a lot of lore to Gone Golfing, as it shows parts of Mr. Golfy's childhood and his transformation into Mr. Golfy. Detaching himself from his good side, known as Greg, we know his name from a note that can be found on the desk that repeats "I am Mr. Golfy," except for one mistake, where he writes his true name, Greg. Other than that, it's a nice challenging DLC that keeps you on your toes, with a long course that forces you to frequently hide to progress the hole. My favorite part about this add-on is that you can burn Mr. Golfy alive. Like that one scene from Black Ops 1. Also, it's beneficial because it makes the underground house puzzle much more easier to complete without the little bastard harassing you. The Golfmare mode is unlocked through getting the second ending in the main game, where you and Mr. Golfy are trapped, becoming best friends forever. Golfmare is supposed to portray the aftermath of becoming forever best friends with Mr. Golfy, showing the twisted realm where you are now trapped, trying to escape to freedom, while hiding from not only Mr. Golfy, but his terrifying BFFs, Soda Man and Hannah Hamburger. Technically 4 things chasing you if you want to include the 8-eyed trout that comes later. Having 3 MFs that can chase you almost anywhere in the house is quite a challenge. And let me tell you, I went through hell trying to complete this game mode, because it's so difficult and tedious. I have 8 hours in this game, and let me tell you, about 4 of them are just trying to beat Golfmare. I could not figure out how to properly escape, because I kept getting clapped by these mascot MFs.
You look so delicious!
So after small individual 15 to 30 minute separate attempts, spanning across 4 hours, I solved the puzzle from Golf Hell, trying to escape the walking golf ball himself. I could only compare it to finally confronting Benny at the New Vegas Strip. Now we come to the most recent add-on to Gone Golfing, Gone Fishing. This add-on replaces the golfing mechanic with the only thing better than mini golf, fishing. The plot of this game mode is that you go on a night fishing trip with your dad, and the goal is to at least catch 5 fish to make your daddy proud. So, put on your Bass Pro fishing hat and hop on the boat and get to catching. You even get to drive the boat, adding more realism to your fishing trip. So you can recreate classic scenes such as
Robert, it goes down.
No, it don't.
It do go down.
Oh!
the actual function of the boat works actually really well. And you also are equipped with a spotlight you can move on the front. Plus, you get a radio to listen to some sea shanties while you fish. To start catching fish, You must travel to any nearby buoy, as fish will only spawn there. And you can tell they are nearby because of the audio cues of splashing water. The actual fishing mechanic is a little jank, but it works. It took me an ungodly amount of time to figure out how to actually catch a fish, but once I did, I became a fish catching MF. The mere atmosphere of Gone Fishing is probably the most unsettling out of all of the add-ons, but I also think it's the overall scariest of them as well. As you prowl the water for fish, strange occurrences will start to happen on your boat, and as you slowly reel in more fish, the radio will randomly turn on. Along with the realization that something might be on your boat. But the burnt man isn't what you should be worried about, because the main threat lurks below in the deep, dark water, stalking your boat as you slowly get more and more fish. If you're oblivious or greedy, you'll miss the audio cue of something coming out of the water, slowly entangling your entire boat without you even knowing. And if you're too late, you're pulled under the dark water, falling prey to the Kraken.
Yeah, I bought him.
The Kraken comes around after you catch your third or fourth fish, and will become more aggressive the more fish you have caught. If it starts coming up, you better skedat, or you're gonna get nay-nayed real hard. But as the overachiever I am, I went for 10 fish to get that sweet achievement. And you know I was mega harassed by the Kraken trying to get those 10 fish. But once you catch your minimum of 5 fish, you can head back to the dock to depart with your beloved dad. But a twist is revealed that the burned man haunting your boat was your father, as he is in the car and curses you before taking off with your only ride back home. Thus is the ending of Gone Fishing. Playing through Gone Golfing, it met all of my needs I want out of a horror game, being unique, interesting gameplay, and a good story with good lore, and being memorable and memeable. The main game alone was enough to satisfy, yet there is even more content to explore through the free DLCs that spice up the gameplay even further. Easily one of my favorite indie horror games I have ever played. And its low price of 5 doubloons, you can't go wrong with that, especially since it supports a small indie game developer. Overall, I believe Gone Golfing works so well because it combined two vastly different concepts of mini golf and horror to make something unique and entertaining, while paving a new way in indie horror games. To that, I give Gone Golfing a solid